Welcome to the Dark Side. I'm Bianca Dark. Today, I'm talking with my old friend Jayne Rylon, a New York Times and USA Today best-selling author of over 77 romance novels, which have sold more than 2 million copies. We first met at a writers' conference in 2009 when indie publishing wasn't really a thing yet. At the time, we both wrote for the same publisher. Our topic for today is... You guessed it, TikTok! Jayne, along with Delilah Dubois, has created a class for authors who want to learn how to use TikTok to market their books. As you may have heard, TikTok has been instrumental in getting the word out about new authors and their books over the past couple of years. Jayne and Lila's class, which is called TikTok Sells Books, runs a few times each year and is a very hands-on introduction to not only the platform but also the concepts needed to market there, since it is quite distinct from the more traditional places that indie authors market their books. Let's hop right into my discussion with Jayne about her favorite topic these days, TikTok. Hey Jayne, long time no see. How's it going today?
Aside from having COVID, it's great.
Yeah, you caught COVID at a convention you went to recently, didn't you?
Yeah, I've been super careful. I've been staying home, and everyone convinced me that it was better for my mental health to get out of the house. But, I'm still glad I went. I still learned a lot of things, but I'm now paying the price.
Yeah, I don't know overall if that really was better for your mental health.
I'll let you know when I get out of this bedroom.
You've been a prisoner for the past couple of days, huh?
It's been an entire week, yes.
Oh boy. Well, at least we have something for you to do today.
Exactly. I'm glad to be here.
What first drew you to try book marketing on TikTok?
I saw other people having a lot of success, and I heard a lot about it during the pandemic, of course, when people were bored and had nothing else to do and started making videos. And it came a point where I'd heard too many success stories to dismiss it anymore. And so I really, really did not want another platform to have to be obligated to in terms of posting on social media. But I did a couple quick tests, posted a couple quick videos, and very quickly realized that the response that I got on that platform outweighed the response I got on other social media platforms. And so I decided, well, crap, now I have to do this.
I think we've all heard of people like Colleen Hoover and Ruby Dixon had great success arising out of TikTok. But is it a worthwhile platform for folks who don't have quite that high a profile? Like, can new and mid-list authors still benefit from the platform, even if they don't ever go viral?
Yeah, that's actually a really good question. So, what you're talking about there is the difference between true virality and like the success you can have on an author driven account. And yes, it is very much still well worth it. So, would we all love to have that kind of true virality where it's not even necessarily you posting about your own books, but a lot of other people posting about your book and sharing their enthusiasm and working up that like huge storm of press? Of course, we'd all love that. But I can tell you that from posting every day, as long as you're consistent, you can have repeatable success on the platform. So for me, my best videos will convert at one sale for every 75 views. And it's not uncommon for my videos to have around, let's say, a 3,000 view average, but maybe between like 2 and 10,000 would be, an average everyday kind of view I would expect. So you're still talking about, from each video you're posting, maybe a dozen sales, 20 sales, something like that. And if you're doing that all the time, every day, day after day, building your platform, growing your audience, finding new readers, to me, that is very much worth it. And then while you're going along and doing that, you hope that every once in a while you have that breakout success or a video that goes viral and really adds on to the platform you've been building from a stable perspective. But yes, absolutely. It's very important to be on the platform, to be engaging in the conversation, learning about the market, and then having that everyday repeatable success that still gives you the chance for those big upside bonuses.
Those are some fantastic numbers, Jayne. Thanks for sharing that. So, like, what is your single best tip for authors who might want to try TikTok?
I think they should take our class. But more importantly, I think like broader advice, it's important to find the intersection of what you like to create and what TikTok likes from you. And then that way you're able to make meaningful content that others are going to enjoy and consume. But at the same time, you won't get burned out in having to make that content consistently and frequently, which is something that the platform does really require of you in order to, maximize your success.
Well, I'm a big fan of your class. Do you have any success stories arising from the class or maybe funny anecdotes from it?
Yeah, I mean, we've been very fortunate so far. Our students have been super successful. Some of the students I think who have the most demonstrated success would be to look at somebody like Carrie Elks on the platform. Even in the time of our class, or maybe shortly thereafter, she had had videos that achieved over 1 million views. It has made a significant difference to her career. She's talked openly about that. And if you check out her account, it's really remarkable to see the audience that she's grown in so short of a time and how that can contribute to conversion and book sales along the way. And she's just one of many. We have several other students who've done remarkably well, and we love cheering them on and seeing, how they evolve and take things to the next step. And as far as funny anecdotes, yeah, for sure. Like we've had a lot of interesting learnings along the way. I would say probably one of my favorite still is when we do a type of video called a character confession, where you're speaking as if you were the character in your story, kind of as if you're dishing to your friends about whatever this gossipy kind of hooky moment in your book might be. There was someone who was talking about starting over after the death of a character in the book. And she was referring to that person, as if it was her husband. Well, she took that TikTok and transferred it to Instagram, where the time limit for the video is different. And so it cut that video off around 25 or 26 seconds, where she hadn't yet revealed that she was talking about a book and promoting a book. And several of her family members thought that her husband had actually passed away. So that was a very poignant moment of learning for us, where we realized, maybe we need to be a little bit careful about this and also very cautious about how our material translates to other platforms and their limitations.
So, when are you going to offer the class again? I know you run it on occasion, but I don't know if there's a set schedule or anything.
Yes, actually, we're going to run the class again starting on January 15th, 2023. And if you go to our website, www.tiktoksellsbooks.com, we actually have a wait list. And because we do only run it periodically in between, like writing and things like that, we offer a $50 off voucher for anybody who's on our wait list by the time we open the registration for the next class. So we'll be doing it again in the new year on January 15th.
So, aside from TikTok, what other marketing efforts do you find most helpful? For example, do you have like a newsletter? And if so, how often do you send to your list? Or do you do a lot of Facebook or vendor advertising?
Of course, I do a little bit of everything, and my newsletter is one of the foundational components of my marketing plan. So I would say I have about 40,000 subscribers on my list right now, and I send once a month at a minimum. And I'm not really that great at sending my newsletter frequently, so I kind of have tricked myself into obligations that require that I send my newsletter periodically. For example, I do swaps with other authors where they will share my book and I share theirs. And it kind of forces me to send more frequently than I might otherwise. And I think for next year, I'd like to increase that goal to sending every 2 weeks, which feels kind of like a nice rhythm for me where I always have newness. And I think that's another actual component of my marketing strategy is to always have eternal newness. So whether that's a new release coming up, a new sale for people to talk about, maybe putting my books into other formats like audio, I always try to have something that's new and appealing that I can be talking about to just be continuing that conversation with my audience. Other tools that I use, I try and get BookBubs when I can. I've done both first in series free and 99-cent sales. And I do use Facebook advertising, just straight up, buying ads, pay-per-click ads. I'm not as great as that as other people that we know, like say Lila, the person that I run the TikTok class with. But I do try to keep up some minimal spending, maybe just to make myself feel better. I don't know. But I do that as well, yes.
Yeah, actually, and this is just an aside, I totally agree with you on the newsletter thing because I had been very bad about getting my newsletter out on time or even once a month. So this year I did one of those newsletter round robin things and it made me send it out once a month, but I'm actually up to like twice a month almost. sort of consistently, and I'm going to continue to do that next year because I think it really helps. Okay, final question. Any other advice for authors who may be interested in trying TikTok to market their books?
I think the best advice I could give is don't wait. Just get started, get on the app, start looking around. Make sure you're looking at book talk content and start getting that algorithm to know the kind of content that you are going to be interested in creating and pushing out. So that would probably be the biggest thing. Just don't wait around, jump into it, get started. When I first did this, I had been talking with Lila about how I thought this was something we needed to investigate. And she literally texted back and was like, "Oh, I just made a video." So then I had to do it. I was kind of forced into it, and who knows how much longer I would have sat on the sidelines just watching this happen. So I think the best thing you can do is just jump right in and get started.
Excellent advice. I think that's great. And that's hilarious because we all know Lila will just jump first and ask questions later.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, hey, thank you so much for doing this today. I'm sorry you have COVID. I'm glad you're on the mend. And I appreciate you taking the time out of your sick day to talk with me. And much appreciated.
Well, thank you for having me.
Well, there you have it. Book marketing on TikTok as explained by Jayne Rylon, an expert on the subject. I should also mention that Jayne has an MBA and used to work in corporate finance, so she kind of knows what she's talking about when it comes to numbers. Thanks for joining me on my very first podcast. I'm Bianca Dark, and I've got a lot of writing to do.